Hello, I'm Ashley Wong with the Safer Consumer Products Program at DTSC. Welcome to our series of training videos on complying with priority product regulations. See the full list of videos on the SCP Training Materials webpage or in the YouTube description. Here we will introduce the Safer Consumer Products or SCP program. This video will give you a brief introduction to the SCP framework and our four-part process. If you are already familiar with our program and process, please feel free to move on to the next video in our training series. Our mission here at SCP is to advance the design, development, and use of consumer products that are chemically safer for people and the environment. The SCP program aims to reduce toxic chemicals in products consumers buy and use, while also increasing the adoption of green chemistry principles and safer alternatives to chemicals of concern in consumer products. To do so, the SCP regulatory framework establishes a science-based four-part process that identifies specific products containing toxic chemicals and evaluates safer alternatives. This process has the ultimate goal of reducing exposure to harmful chemicals in consumer products. For SCP to move forward in regulating a chemical in a product, the chemical first needs to be on DTSC's Candidate Chemicals List, or CC List. The CC List is a compilation of chemicals that have been identified as having known hazard traits or exposure potential, either by DTSC or by one or more of 23 other internationally recognized authoritative bodies. When DTSC adds chemicals to the CC List, it is done through a public rulemaking process. If you go to the CalSafer website and click on the Candidate Chemicals List, you can search for chemicals and see their properties of concern. Here is an example of 1,1,1-trichloroethane. To the right in the gray box, you can find some general information about the chemical, such as the name, CAS number, and any synonyms. On this page, you can see whether there are any priority products related to the chemical, as well as the basis for listing it as a candidate chemical. Here you can see that 1,1,1-trichloroethane was listed as a candidate chemical because it poses the hazard traits of carcinogenicity, which can cause cancer, and cardiovascular toxicity, which can cause heart damage. The second part of the SCP process is the priority product listing. This is where we evaluate those candidate chemicals in the context of consumer products. When a product contains one or more candidate chemicals, we evaluate that product chemical combination based on the potential for exposure and significant or widespread adverse impacts. It becomes a defined priority product according to SCP regulations when there is potential public and/or ecological exposure to the candidate chemicals in the product, and there is potential for one or more exposures to cause or contribute to significant adverse impacts. To officially regulate a product chemical combination as a priority product, we must initiate a public rulemaking process based on our research findings. Part 3 of the SCP process is the Alternatives Analysis, or AA. This is where it becomes the responsibility of the manufacturer or other responsible entity to evaluate and identify safer alternatives and to produce an alternatives analysis report. The AA process typically has two stages. The preliminary AA, a general screening of a wide range of safer alternatives, and the final AA, which is a more in-depth comparison between the priority product and one or more promising alternatives. Please see our other training videos on the preliminary AA and final AA for more in-depth explanation of the process at each stage. At the end of this process, SCP can issue one or more regulatory responses, depending on the results of the alternatives analysis. Shown here are the regulatory response options at our disposal. This broad scope aims to provide the greatest level of inherent protection for human health and the environment. SCP may customize the regulatory responses to the unique situation of each priority product manufacturer. In this video, I gave a brief overview of the SCP program and process. For further details, please refer directly to our SCP Regulations webpage, where you can find more information about the SCP regulations and a link to the regulations themselves. We also encourage you to join the SCP program email list, or E-list, to receive the latest information and updates from the department on upcoming regulations, events, and workshops. Finally, if you have any further questions, feel free to contact us at saferconsumerproducts@dtsc.ca.gov. Thank you.